For Upper Michigan, this is your TV6 Early News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Asplund. Awaiting a verdict in the Karen Kirby trial. Kirby charged with unlawful imprisonment of her daughter. Distracted driving, the push to ban all cell phone use by drivers. Gasoline grades. Is premium gasoline better than regular? And why? It's your Facebook story tonight. Your TV6 Medical Minute tonight, Dr. Michael Prevost talks about a common kneecap problem.
From Weather Center 6, I'm Carl Bonack. Low pressure moves through. We'll tell you what's behind it for tomorrow and the rest of the week in a few minutes.
I'm Mike Bedard. We'll have your Play of the Week winner. Plus, we'll start to get you ready for Northern Michigan Tech hockey on Friday night.
Also a conversation with the director of the Dickinson Area Chamber of Commerce and adopting a family for Christmas. It's all next on your TV6 Early News.
For Upper Michigan, Steve Asplund, Carl Bonack Weather, and Mike Ludlam Sports. This is your TV6 Early News.
No verdict yet in the case against a 62-year-old Michigami mother charged with unlawful imprisonment of her 32-year-old daughter. Karen Kirby waived her right to a jury trial. Closing arguments have been made, and now the decision is in the hands of Judge Thomas Solka. TV6's Nikki Davidson was in Marquette County Circuit Court today. She joins us now with more. Nikki?
Steve, we're getting closer to the conclusion of a legal battle that started with a shocking police raid of a Champion Township home in May. The incident began as a well-being check for Kirby's 32-year-old daughter and landed Kirby and her live-in companion Calvin Martz in jail, facing multiple charges. The decision that must be made now is if Kirby had restrained her daughter from leaving the residence and making contact with authorities at the scene. Today in court, the defense put Calvin Martz on the stand. He claims Kirby's daughter is his wife under God, and the woman voluntarily stayed at the residence. A witness for the prosecution testified the daughter has a history of mental health problems. Martz claims he's the best medicine for her. He says that she had several opportunities to run away or call 911 in the several days she stayed with the two and chose not to. But Kirby's daughter says Martz has been sexually assaulting her since he claimed her as his wife at the age of 14. Martz has been convicted of 5 criminal counts in connection to the incident, the most severe being first-degree criminal sexual conduct. He faces a maximum sentence of life in prison. Karen Kirby faces a maximum of 15 years in prison, and Judge Thomas Solka expects to come to a verdict tomorrow morning. Steve?
Thanks a lot, Nikki. Well, an investigation is underway of Plow Furniture in Crystal Falls by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. ICE, as it's called, issued a search warrant on the business November 19th. According to an information officer with ICE, the search warrant is sealed, so no information is being released. They only say that an investigation is underway. Now, ICE handles cases involving a number of areas, including illegal immigrants, border issues, child pornography, identity theft, and money laundering. The National Transportation Safety Board made a recommendation to completely ban drivers from using cell phones. For the past 10 years, the Safety Board has made efforts to try to limit the use of cell phones in vehicles, and this one is the most extreme. NTSB members are trying to combat distracted driving, an issue that causes accidents every day. Just last week, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration released a study that said 13.5 million people regularly use handheld phones while driving.
With cell phones and texting and driving is a complete distraction to the safety of motorists on the road. It puts obviously the driver in danger as well as the people around in danger, whether they're motorists or pedestrians.
In 2011, there were 552 accidents in Marquette this current year, but the city police were unsure as to how many were actual cell phone related crashes. Our Facebook fans want to know, what's the difference between regular and premium gas, besides the price, of course? Is one really better than the other? Well, TV6's Noelle McLaren spoke with car experts to find out.
Pain at the pump is bad enough when you fill your tank with regular. But filling up with premium can cost you 10 to 20 cents more per gallon. So is it really worth it? If your vehicle requires premium or it's strongly suggested, the answer is yes. Cutting corners could make your engine cut out.
If you're running too low a grade fuel, the fuel combusts or ignites, explodes instead of burns.
Premium Premium gas isn't actually higher quality, it just has higher levels of octane, which most high-performance vehicles like muscle cars, luxury cars, large SUVs, and high-powered trucks demand.
It needs a higher octane level to resist detonation on premium, on high-performance cars. And that's what premium fuel provides.
But what if you don't have a high-performance vehicle? Will putting high-octane premium gas in your car make it run any better? Well, mechanics say it could actually make your car run worse.
They have sensors on what the combustibility rate is in the pistons and stuff, and it'll screw up the sensors because the rate is slower than what regular gas fires at a higher combustibility rate.
Regular, mid-grade, and premium fuels do not relate to good, better, and best. Follow your vehicle manufacturer guidelines when choosing a fuel. You can find those instructions on the inside of your gas cap door or in your owner's manual. Noelle McLaren, TV6 News, Marquette.
Now a look at tomorrow's Facebook story choices. First, unique UP foods. What foods are tied to Upper Michigan's rich ethnic traditions, and what are some favorites? Second, shopping for a gym. What should you know about your gym membership before you join? And what questions should you ask about the contract? And third, what are police doing to keep the highway safe during the holidays? What's being done to reduce drunken driving? Head over to the TV6 Facebook page and tell us what story you'd like to see tomorrow and why. Well, Michigan's jobless rate is shrinking to a level it has not seen in 3 years. Unemployment in November was down 0.8% to 9.8% for October. Now, the Michigan Department of Technology, Management and Budget says total employment rose by 21,000 in November. Michigan's unemployment rate is still above the national rate of 8.6%. Well, the TV6 Business After Hours event is taking place at the Norway Mountain Ski Hill right now in Vulcan. And TV6's Iron Mountain Kingsford Bureau reporter Adam Chick talked to the director of the Dickinson Area Chamber of Commerce earlier today about some of the issues in the county.
Hi, I'm Adam Chick. I'm here with Linda Zanone, the director of the Dickinson Area Chamber of Commerce. Now, Linda, how are local businesses faring in these tough economic times?
Adam, I think they're faring fairly well. I think our area in general is doing better than expected with the economy. A lot of our people in the area shop locally, which is wonderful. We need to support our area businesses, and by doing so, it makes us a healthy community and a community that can move forward in the future.
And how can something like TV6's Business After Hours benefit local businesses?
I think the networking and getting out and really meeting and greeting people, letting the people know what you have to offer, where you're located, the things that are available to us in our area is very important, and it gives us all an opportunity to really reach out to each other.
Great. Thank you, Linda. Back to you in the studio.
That's TV6's Iron Mountain Bureau reporter Adam Chick. Well, a controlled burn of old propane tanks in Munising is over. Legasco needed to make sure that all the propane was out of the tanks before they could move them, so they did that today by relieving the pressure through a pipe and burning off the excess gas with an open flame. The process does make a lot of noise, and the Munising Fire Department was fully aware of the situation, and there were no reports of any problems with the burn-off. Well, the City of Iron Mountain has received some much-needed assistance from the USDA Forest Service in assessing the condition of trees along its streets. For 2 weeks, representatives walked the streets of Iron Mountain, filing the trees into different categories, such as good, fair, poor, critical, and dead. Iron Mountain has almost 6,000 public trees and planting sites. The goal of the assessment is to help the tree board better determine where work needs to be done so they can more effectively schedule tree maintenance.
The idea really was to show us the benefits of trees, which I think people are very mistaken when you think about it long term. I mean, trees, although they can sometimes be seen as something that's not a top priority or something is beneficial, in the end, their study proved that really they are.
The estimated value for Iron Mountain's inventoried tree population is just over $2.5 million. A lot of money in that wood. Time for your first check on weather. Another mild day, and that meant really sloppy conditions on the roads and driveways today, Carl.
Right, we had the fog too. Check out Mares Eat Oats in Marquette. 36 now, southeast breeze. The barometer continues to fall as low pressure approaches, and we've had some precipitation too. Mainly rain, some drizzle, and even some snow. You can see on radar there the pink indicating maybe a mixture of rain and snow, and just the way it looks, all snow in the inland areas of Baraga County. Probably around Alberta there could be some snow coming down. In addition, well, we have a dense fog advisory for parts of the central, south central Upper Peninsula and northeast Wisconsin for tonight into early tomorrow morning. Our Portage Health Houghton Hancock weather cam. Not too much fog, but a little bit there, and well, some more precipitation. We'll tell you what type it will take during the night tonight and what's ahead through the end of the week in a few minutes.
Thanks a lot, Carl. Just ahead on your TV6 Early News, your TV6 Medical Minute. And tonight, Dr. Michael Prevost talks about a misalignment of your kneecap. Who's likely to have this problem and what's being done to correct it? And then later, well, adopting a family for Christmas and wrapping up the gifts. That story following sports on your TV6 Early News.
Patellofemoral Syndrome is a condition where there's pain in the front of the knee. It often occurs in teenagers, athletes, and sometimes manual laborers. It's caused by overuse where the kneecap seems to be not in perfect alignment with the distal femur, which is the thigh bone. Symptoms can be worse with prolonged sitting with the knees bent, doing jumping, squatting, or stair climbing type activities. There may be a catch or a grinding sensation, and sometimes the knee will give or buckle. Treatment for patellofemoral syndrome usually includes rest from aggravating activities, use of non-steroidal medications, icing, physical therapy, sometimes taping or bracing of the knee, especially the knee cap, and only rarely is surgery required for patellofemoral syndrome. This has been Dr. Michael Prevost for TV6's Medical Minute.
Your TV6 Medical Minute appears each Wednesday right here on your TV6 Early News. A former bishop for the Catholic Diocese of Marquette has passed away. Retired Bishop Mark Schmidt died today in De Pere, Wisconsin after a brief illness. He was 88 years old. Schmidt served as bishop of the Diocese of Marquette for over 14 years, from 1978 to 1992. Visitation and a funeral mass for Bishop Schmidt will be held at St. Peter Cathedral in Marquette. Details will be announced as soon as the arrangements have been made. Well, is there a shift in our weather and temperatures? Is it going to get colder and snowier? Well, we'll find out next with TV6 meteorologist Carl Bonak. He'll have your forecast and a peek at the weekend. Also ahead tonight, the Wall Street numbers and the stocks and the euro falling as worries about Europe drag down financial markets. The Dow losing 131, the NASDAQ down 39. Gold prices now under $1,600 for the first time in a while, closing at $1,584 an ounce. They were losing $76 an ounce today. Crude oil prices ending lower as well, off $5.19, closing at $94.95 a barrel. There's a look at today's most active issues and stocks of local interest.
Temperatures of anything even a little warmer than the past couple of days, just a bit. 39 Munising, also Manistee, Escanaba, and Menominee. 36 from our weather watcher at Copper Harbor. The coolest spots, Iron River and Houghton Hancock at 34. So right where we were expecting, mid to upper 30s. 40s across the board downstate into eastern Wisconsin. 33 at Duluth. Fog. There's been some light snow at times. Here's what's going on. You can see the enhanced clouds working from southwest to northeast. Low clouds extending all the way back into the northern plains. Low pressure, a broad area of low pressure with the center in western Iowa, is heading right toward the Upper Peninsula. Temperatures, well, they warm up in the warm sectors south of the low. 62 at Topeka, 55 at St. Louis, 51 as far to the north as Chicago. But up to the northwest, remember yesterday we were talking about temperatures in the 20s at Churchill. Well, now around 0, even below in northern Saskatchewan. So there is colder air waiting in the wings, and we have this area of precipitation moving to the northeast, affecting us during the night tonight. Then the low starts to intensify, move to the northeast tomorrow. West to northwest winds will get stronger and start to bring in the colder air. Some light snow and flurries, eventually lake effect. Then on Friday, seasonably cold air with a westerly flow aloft, some leftover flurries in the north. And on Saturday, a new Clipper-like low could bring some light snow late in the day. Back with more in a moment. Temperatures early tomorrow will range from around 30 west into the 30s, and then in the afternoon, if anything, temperatures will begin to fall as those winds kick up. Best chance of getting some slushy accumulation, maybe a couple of inches tonight, will be in the west central areas, parts of western Marquette County, maybe into Baraga and Iron counties during the night. Otherwise, mostly rain, especially to the east. Your forecast tonight, west to east, look for that fog in the central and east. Lows by morning around 30 in the west, into the 30s east. The rain and snow will diminish later on tonight. Then tomorrow, the west to northwest winds increase. Highs will probably be in the morning and then slowly fall, coldest in the west. Some light snow and flurries developing. And then it looks as though we'll get some lake effect in the northwest snow belts, maybe a couple of inches. It doesn't look like a whole lot. And as far as snow goes, your TV 6-day forecast, no major system seen, but you can see at least the chance of a little snow each day. Temperatures near to a little above average. Not as warm as we've been, though.
It looks like it's going to be this wet, heavy stuff throughout that period.
No, not really. I
okay.
think the heaviest will be tonight. And then afterwards, it should cool off a little bit.
A lot of water in the snow, though.
Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot. Your sports is up next, and tonight your Play of the Week winner and a look back at the Northern Michigan and Michigan Tech seasons to date ahead of Friday's big contest. TV6's Mike Bedard has those stories and more just ahead in sports on your TV6 Early News.
Everyone, the past several years, both Northern and Michigan Tech hockey opened the season against one another. Well, not this year. The two teams meet for the first time this Friday night at the Barrie Events Center. It's been an exciting start for both programs so far. NMU opened the year with an overtime win at Wisconsin and boasts wins over Central Collegiate Hockey Association powers Michigan, Michigan State, Notre Dame, and Miami of Ohio. The Wildcats sit in 6th place in the conference, tied with the Spartans. Michigan Tech, meanwhile, is undergoing a program renaissance of sorts. After winning just 10 games in the last 2 years, the Huskies already have 9 this fall under first-year head coach Mel Pearson. They, too, beat Wisconsin along with wins over Denver in a signature 3-2 overtime win over number 2 ranked Minnesota at Mariucci Arena last weekend. The Huskies are also tied for 6th in their conference, the WCHA, along with Denver. Face-off is set for 7:35 p.m. Eastern at the Barrie Events Center. Well, the Northern Michigan volleyball team announced 3 recruits that have signed national letters of intent to play for the school. Alexandra Berger is a 5'5" libero from Shakopee, Minnesota. She played volleyball at Shakopee Senior High School, which makes sense. Berger also plays with the Mizuno Northern Lights 17 Black Club team. Miranda Hilgers is a 5'8" setter from Minnetonka, Minnesota. She played 4 years of volleyball at Hopkins High School. She plays her club volleyball with the M1 Hopkins Junior 17 Royal Club. And Lisa Studnicka is a 6-foot outside hitter from Aurora, Illinois. She played volleyball at Wabanzi Valley High School. Studnicka plays her club volleyball with the Sports Performance Volleyball Club 17 Runbird team. Northern Michigan last year finished 15-14 overall and lost 3-0 in the GLIAC quarterfinals to Ashland. And the winner of this week's Play of the Week contest is nomination number 3, Down with Davatilla, and it's Mr. Chase Davatilla knocking the shot out of the air and past the goaltender in a Jeffers 8-5 win over Kingsford last week. That got 45% of the vote. The leader for most of the week was nomination number 2, and it's Westwood's, or excuse me, this is definitely not Westwood. That's a different one. The nomination that the Westwood, Zach French threw up a pass to Andrew Lesage, which is what you're seeing now, was number 2. As Ishman went on to win this one by a score of 66-56. This got 38% of the vote. And the last one, which you saw before, was number 1. That was Tyler Jandron hitting a 3-pointer and getting a 5-point play. Make sure you head to our website, upmissionsource.com, next week for 3 new nominations. You could also send us your nominations via email or DVD or any way you get it to us. We'd love to see them. And talk a little bit of NFL football here real quick. This Sunday on our sister station, Fox UP, we will have the Lions at Oakland game. That's at 4 p.m. We will not have the Packers at Kansas City. It is not a Fox doubleheader weekend, so we are unable to show the Packers at 1 o'clock. So make the necessary adjustments, save your phone calls and your emails, because we have no say. It's up to Fox and the NFL. They tell us what we're showing.
That's for sure. And unfortunately, we can't carry the Packers this weekend.
We would love to show both, that's for sure.
That's for sure. Thanks a lot, Mike. Coming up, we'll talk about a family that's going to have a little brighter Christmas because of some folks that have adopted their family. That story's next. Finally tonight, things are wrapping up in more ways than one for the adoptive family effort at the Greater Ishpeming-Negaunee Area Chamber of Commerce. Earlier this month, the GINCC adopted a family for Christmas through the Salvation Army. The shopping is now complete with the help of the chamber and the community. Today, the gifts must be turned into the Salvation Army in Ishpeming, so the Chamber of Commerce is wrapping them all up. The gifts are turned into the Salvation Army where they'll be distributed to the family.
Nothing is expected in return. It's just, something that we can do. There is no thanks that's necessary. This is just, we want to make sure that they have a great Christmas, and that's thanks enough.
The adoptive family effort could not have been done without the generous help of so many members of the Chamber and the community, and the Chamber of Commerce plans to participate for a third time next year and many more in the future. That's your news for tonight. Up next, NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams. For all of us here, have a good night and join us online anytime.